All right, welcome back to the channel on a new segment I like to call the Crib Podcast. And this show will be where I interview, friends of mine and kind of see how they're doing. And on this episode, episode 1, I am joined by my friend, my brother, aspiring journalism major, Nate Canilao. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good, dude. How you been?
Pretty good, hanging in there this whole quarantine.
Yeah.
Staying in the house.
Speaking of quarantine, man, what have you been doing to kind of stay busy and stuff?
I've been playing 2K. I've been playing Madden. I've been just sitting here watching movies.
I know, right?
I go out, just to walk around sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
I put a hoop in my right here in my hallway.
In your room.
I've been doing dunk contests with dudes.
Yeah, I actually have a hoop one that you latch on your door. I never use it though, but I'm thinking maybe I'll just set that thing up downstairs and kind of go at it.
I've been doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
With that hoop.
Nate, I love your haircut, by the way. If you guys don't know, Nate used to have some curls and stuff. He had some action going on up there, and glad to see he's back to the shaved head phase.
Come back down to earth.
Yeah, it's the only way to go, man. It's the only way to go.
Oh yeah,
especially now.
When you take a shower, it's it doesn't take too long. You know what I mean?
Especially now because, you can't go out and get lined up and stuff. So have your dad just buzz everything. Yeah. So.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Anyway, so today I've written up a series of questions to put Nate through, and he will kind of answer them, and we'll kind of just make a conversation about it. These videos will be, kind of semi-long, but it's all good. Just plug your earphones in, get your little bowl of cereal, or if you're on your Zoom class right now, listen to us instead of them. We are not sponsored by Zoom, but we are doing this through Zoom. But anyway, so for the first question, for those of you that don't know, me and Nate went to high school together, and at the end of our senior year, we did this thing called the Quarter Six Podcast. And because Nate is an aspiring journalism major, he started this podcast with me and then 2 other dudes on it. So my question is, what sparked the idea of the Quarter Six Podcast?
Well, I think when we hang out, we definitely get into a bunch of arguments, and most arguments are about sports, and they're good positive ones.
Yeah.
But I got sick and tired of it, man. I was like, we'd be in the car yelling. And I was like, you know what? We just gotta have a platform where we argue about this and make it entertainment. So, and also I was an aspiring journalist, so I thought it'd be cool to put on my resume, all that stuff. And then so we just tried it out. At first I was like, maybe this is a 1-episode thing, and then we'll figure it out from then. But it turned out for a couple months we were really diving into deep sports topics, and we had some good arguments, some bad ones. But
oh yeah.
It was really based on just this kind of lunch table idea of when we're all just hanging out and we're just arguing about this stuff. I wanted to have our platform to argue about it, put it on YouTube.
Yeah, totally. In a world where there's so many different, sports channels, sports argument channels like First Take, Skip and Shannon, His and Hers, that stuff. All these experts and stuff. Sometimes it's kind of fun. It was fun for me, obviously, and you, but it was kind of fun for us to kind of see, just high school kids and their opinions, whether their biases and they're not. But it was kind of cool to get different views. You had a lot of good points most of the time, but it was also kind of fun to see who actually prepared, because Nate would send out these topics we'd usually film these podcasts on Fridays, or he would send us the topics 2-3 days in advance. So I remember my first episode, I was like, okay, I gotta freaking hang with these guys. I was on my I was on my laptop and scrolling through stats and stuff, because I don't want to look like an idiot. But then towards the last couple episodes, we kind of just showed up, We all had our notes and stuff, but you could definitely tell like who prepared and who didn't, and I think that's what made it so much fun.
And I think like the beauty of us doing that is like we're four different sports fans who have like our teams vary, our backgrounds vary. So it was, I mean, we all played different sports too. So it was kind of like a breath of fresh air to see like, you know, for example, like you're a Redskins fan and Cam is a huge Colts fan. Like two organizations.
Apparently he's a Colts fan.
Yeah, they're not rivalries or anything.
If you're
apparently.
Watching.
Yeah. And you know, it was just kind of cool to see just like the different takes. I mean, of course, I think Cameron's more on the extreme kind of the wishful thinking sports fan who didn't really have facts, but he had like this passion. And then you have a guy like Kevin who's almost like he's more statistical, he's more analytical with his kind of units. And I think it's really cool. And we're kind of in the middle of those two.
Yeah,
it was kind of cool to see like all of us come together and like actually argue what the topics were. I thought it was really, really cool to see that too.
I don't know if it still is on, but are the videos still up? I think they are. Oh
yeah, and you know, me and Kevin have been talking about it. Yeah. And, you know, we're thinking like we're probably gonna have a summer session, especially now since you know everybody's home.
Yeah, for sure.
Might as well and we can even do it on Zoom now.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice this was a thing.
Yeah.
I think it might be easier to do it on Zoom. It'd be really cool to come back, and you know, there's a lot of things going on in sports that are not sports related that we can definitely talk about. I think it'd be really good content.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't aware, I'll leave the link in the description below for you guys to go check out our old little arguments that we've had the past couple of years in a much simpler time. But yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that sounds like a ton of fun. Like, I mean, a lot of people have been asking us to bring it back, and hey, man, give the people what they want. Give them what they want.
Yeah. You know, I think that it'd be a breath of fresh air now that we're older.
Yeah.
And, you know,
yeah,
it's like not a lot for us to do. It'd be kind of cool to just come back and just give the people what they want. Give them a show.
And I think personally that making something like this, like a podcast to talk about sports, for you personally, and you're aspiring to be, to do journalism in your life. I think it was really good because you kind of organized different personalities and, the days leading up to episodes, you managed, what topics you wanted to talk about. And then you were able to kind of corral all of us. Cause when the mic's on, camera's recording, everyone wants to talk, right? There's two mics,
right?
Everyone's pulling the mic and stuff, but you did a great job of kind of managing us and saying like, oh, it's, time for him to speak. It's time for him to speak and stuff. So I think that was something that really will help you, in the future and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And like where I want to go, writing is definitely a thing that I want to do, but podcasting is to me way easier than writing, a whole 2,000 word story. Definitely. So, if I can get to that point and just having you guys as, my starting spot, I thought we did really well. Just from a standpoint of like we didn't have any experience with any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a personality aspect when it comes to stuff like this, and I think that all of our personalities meshed well. I mean, we had you're more of a calm guy, but when the arguments get escalated, you had points.
Oh yeah. I made sure that. Oh
yeah, for sure. And Cameron's like he's always passionate, always yelling and screaming, which is cool for the fans to see. And then you had a guy like Kevin who always calm, cool, collected.
Yeah.
Always had backed up his arguments with stats.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was really. I mean, just the whole personalities. It was always great to see, and even when we had Frank on, it was amazing. I mean,
guest star Frank. Shout out Frank. I was
very surprised to see he was actually his notes. And, he had his arguments, and it was really good. This another thing is this is not the process that we had to go through was not easy either. The setup, just getting the content out. I mean, it's definitely more than just speaking and talking your opinions. I think it's a little bit more than that. You need to be able to back it up because when you get backed into a wall where your argument is going to fall, you need to have that backup plan. You need to have your notes to counter.
Definitely.
And I think we did a really good job of just making sure that we did that. We basically were intellectual but also passionate.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we're gonna switch gears here. I know this entire podcast idea was like about your passion for journalism. I think what I kind of want to know is what made you want to do journalism? So many kids in high school, like last couple months are starting to kind of wind down, and like they got to figure out what they want to do for the rest of their life. A short amount of time. But what kind of made you want to do journalism?
Well, like my introduction to it was kind of weird. I think it was my sophomore year. So they basically, I went to Granada, and basically the orientation day, I looked at my schedule, and I signed up for I think 14 classes that semester, that trial the whole year, and I only got 13. So I went up to the vice principal at the time, Miss Ha, and I was like, "Yo, like, I need another class. I think you guys made a mistake." And she's like, "Oh, that's no problem, but just want to let you know that we only have class X, Y, and Z." I think the classes I was given were like ceramics, art, and then journalism. So I wasn't even like at this point in my life, I was set to be a college basketball player, and I don't know. Like after that, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And so, I just took journalism as a class, and at first I was really bored with it. I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. But then I think the first story I got assigned was it was all around when the Kaepernick stuff started first happening.
Oh, really?
And it was just like the controversy. Yeah, and I had to really develop my opinion on it. I had to do research and all this stuff. Really? And then when I did put that article out, like my teacher was like, I think you really have a future in this, so you should stay. Like you should keep staying. You should stay. Yeah. So from then on, I just kept taking her class. I still didn't think anything of it until I want to say my senior year, when I was like, okay, like I need to do this as a major because this is what I'm good at. Like I'm not good at math. I'm not good at science. I'm not going to be a bio major,
an art major.
I'm not going to be an engineering major. Yeah. So I'm just not good at that stuff. So I was like, this is what I'm good at. I'm passionate about sports. Why not keep going? So ever since then, I've been taking it seriously. I've been trying to get as many clips out as possible, and it's all started with a misunderstanding of classes.
There you go. I mean, sometimes that's kind of how it is, Some people, obviously have a true passion for it. Some people need to get that little push, from some, whether it's some, uncertainty or some misunderstanding, but, sometimes, that's how it works. But, is there anyone you kind of look up to in that journalism field? I think I have a few in mind, but
well, of course, like when I was a kid, I was watching ESPN like every day. Like you go to school, I used to eat breakfast and watch ESPN. So like guys like Stuart Scott, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, those guys were always on.
Definitely.
At like 7:30 in the morning. And I'd always watch them. I used to love watching them. But like from like a writing standpoint, I think a guy like Marcus Thompson, who works at Las Positas College, I just got introduced to him this year, and my advisor, and I've been reading through all of his stuff. He wrote Golden, Steph Curry's biography, KD's
Oh, really?
Biography.
I actually have that book on my shelf, I think. Here, take a look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have it. Hold on. I think I have it, too.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at that.
Yeah.
Golden.
Yep.
No, I haven't even opened this book. I mean, I haven't even read this yet, but I was like...
I read more of his articles online. He works for The Athletic. And he's one of my big writing inspirations. Another guy is Pablo Torre. He's a
I know who you're talking about.
At ESPN, works at High. He used to run High Noon. He's a great. He did a bunch of 30 for 30s, and I think he's great.
Man.
And like from writing standpoints, it's like it's not really a skill that you're God given with. It's just kind of like something you have to be able to pick. Like you can pick it up very easily. That's why I kind of gravitate towards it, because I look at stuff now that I wrote sophomore year to now, and it's like, wow, like it's a big jump. Like
definitely.
Just having people there that like show you how to do stuff is definitely the key, like the key to writing. I don't think it's not like rapping or like athletics where like you have to be a certain height, a certain way. Like it's definitely something where like you could get better at it over time, and if you work hard enough, it'll definitely pay off.
Definitely, bro. And for those of you that don't know, at our community college, Las Positas, Nate actually writes. He's authored a few articles of from the LPC newspaper. Is that it? Or like
the Express newspaper.
Yeah, Express newspaper, and he wrote this really good article about quarantine, and like he didn't tell a bunch of us like go read it, but like I just was scrolling through Twitter, and apparently the Express newspaper has like a Twitter, and like someone like retweeted it, and I was like, oh shit, Nate like wrote an article or something. So actually like I was like I'll just go check it out, maybe read like the first couple lines, but I actually ended up reading the entire thing, and coming from someone that like doesn't read that much and like hates reading, hates books, but like just reading his article, like he'll draw you in, like that first paragraph, like I was kind of reading this, I'm like okay, and like sure enough, like I finished the freaking article, I was like oh, damn, that was really good. So I mean dude, this guy's gifted. I mean he writes about some some great things, whether it be sports or just life or just being like a college student, and I think his articles have really been eye-opening to a lot of people at the college. But yeah, man, I mean, plugging it up, I'll put like a link to that article that I read down below, where with a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, man, I'm really proud of you that you found something that you want to do and stuff, and that's what it's all about right there.
I appreciate that. I think that I definitely think that community college students get a bad stigma of like just why didn't you make that 4-year or that why didn't you make that jump?
Exactly.
And I think that I think community college is great. I mean, just the one semester I had, it's kind of it's not the typical college experience, but if you want to like really hone your skills, I think community college is that route.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people in some of my classes where they said they were getting offers from like UCLA and USC, but they turned it down because well, either it's financial or just from a standpoint of when you're at that 4-year, you're expected to have a certain type of GPA. There's a certain expectation.
Yeah.
In community college, you can really take your time. I mean, you could finish as fast as you can, as slow as you can, but at the end of the day, you're working towards the same goal.
Totally.
I definitely think, I mean, for those high schoolers right now, I mean, go look at Las Positas. I mean, or go look at DVC or wherever you want to go. I mean, it's definitely a great option for whatever you want to do. Because I mean, especially if you're an undecided person, it's just great to see like to go through that general education model and just go through it and just see what you like and what you're good at.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I remember, during senior year, I was getting all my applications and stuff back, and seeing the schools and stuff, and I think like my thing was like I always wanted to go to that 4-year just because I didn't want to go to Las Positas. Like I just thought junior college was like I thought junior college was like the G League, like everyone's just trying to get out, every man for themselves. But I mean, when I enrolled in Las Positas, like it's really not, like I went through a major change, and like that saved me like that saved me like tens of thousands of dollars here than say if I were to go to Oregon State, because I was looking at Oregon State, and that would have cost me like $50K a year, just for that extra year. Because I think junior college is great because you can kind of figure out what you want to do, if you're someone like me who has zero clue of like what to do fresh out of high school. Because I remember last day of school or graduation, the next day I woke up and I'm like, shit, like what am I gonna do with my life, But yeah, man, definitely. Yeah. But switching to another question.
I think I definitely.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that I think community college is also. I mean, there's also like a thing where like people think, oh well, the education is less, or it's just it's not as good as 4 years. Well, like for example, like I wouldn't have met Marcus Thompson if I didn't go to Las Positas.
Exactly.
And I think there's great like education there. Still, there's still great value from going into. I mean, I think for like a full semester, it's $900.
Yeah.
If you want to take 18 units. Compare that to I think I was looking at USC, and they have like one semester is like $35,000.
Yeah, it's pennies compared to 4 years.
To me, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pennies.
I'm not gonna put I would not never put myself in debt.
Yeah.
For,
I mean, yeah, if you want to go to a 4 year, that's great. And, you know, if you're good at what you do, you have an idea what you want to do, you have the resources, that's great. But all I'm saying is that junior college is a good option for those who, you know, have problems financially, you know, who kind of struggle in school, or if, you know, if like, you know, you said, like, if you don't know what to do, and if you just want to stay at home for, you know, a couple more years and, you know, milk it off your parents.
You can make money on the side. It's ways to
exactly,
make money.
Exactly. That way,
community college.
Exactly.
And going to work. I mean, I go to work. I'm able to go to work 5 to 6 days a week.
Exactly.
And still save up to the point where I can afford, you know, my 4 year after my 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's great. I mean, I'm not gonna be in much student debt after. I mean, I probably will be in terms of, like, I mean, big schools are definitely gonna get you in debt, but I'm not gonna be as in debt as the person who went to UCLA and flunked out in 3 years. You know
definitely.
What I mean?
Yeah, man, for sure. All right. I'm gonna switch over to another question here. You know, right now you're at Las Positas. You know, what are kind of your plans for the future? You know, like, what schools you looking at? Because I don't know if you're going to be out, you know, this summer, or like you're going to do another year. Like, you know, what are your plans?
So yeah, my actually original plan was I was going to be out this summer.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I was going to go back.
Yeah.
But ever since, you know, like, I met the mass communications department at Las Vegas was so good.
Yeah.
I think they really do a lot of great things for, like, journalists and multimedia multimedia majors, and you know, they kind of really convinced me to stay. You know, I'm definitely gonna take one more year.
There you go.
For sure. After that, I'm looking at schools like USC is on my list.
Yeah.
SF State.
Dang.
Yeah, Cal State LA. And then in terms of, like, out of states, I'm looking at Clark Atlanta, which is in Georgia. DePaul is on that list, and if I can get into St. John's, that'd be another, like,
St. John's.
Crazy, like, dream of mine.
There you go.
But, you know, I still got to figure out how to pay for all this. But, you know,
scholarships.
It's a good thing in college that I could figure that out.
There you go. And you can just bang out units right now, so you don't have to pay for as much.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
There you
go.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, for, like, what I have to do, I don't have to take many math and science classes. I got to take a lot of English and, like, mass comm type of stuff.
There you go.
So yeah, like, I'm cool with that. I don't really want to take science and math. I'm not with all that. I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying to get by with those classes.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I switched, because I was in this physics class, and, like, first day I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, so I was just like, screw this.
And there's, like, no knock on, like, science.
Oh yeah, no.
Like,
it's just hard. It's just hard.
It's just really like, if you don't love, like, what you're doing, you're not going to be.
Yeah, because it's like
it's really hard. That's grueling stuff.
Yeah, because it was like, I mean, I was thinking, like, I got to finish this class, and then next year I got to take a tougher physics class, and then an even tougher physics class after that. And then I'm like, okay. And then on top of that, I had to take, you know, 2 more of the hardest math classes at the, you know, school. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this. It wasn't just because, oh, it's hard, but, you know, I was kind of just took a step back, and I'm like, I mean, is engineering something that I really want to do? Like, you know, because it's like, even when I first said, hey, I want to do mechanical engineering, I wasn't, like, set on it, you know. I was like, you know, maybe take a few classes, maybe enjoy it. But, you know, I think the great thing about Las Positas is that, you know, I, you know, tested it out, I tried it, but, you know, it just wasn't for me. So, you know, I switched it over.
Right, and I think that's you know, I think a lot of people are in your position, and it's good that you're talking about it, because a lot of kids, like, they're so set on something, or like, maybe there's pressure from their parents to be something.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, if you're not working towards something that you don't like or you don't love, I mean, you can get the job later, but are you really gonna love what you're doing? Even if maybe you are making money, but are you gonna be loving to go to work every day, or are you gonna be coming home stressed and you know, all that stuff? I just think that regardless of your major, I think if you love what you're doing, you're going to make money off it regardless. You know, you're going to find a way. So.
That kind of knocks on the next question. I mean, it's, you know, what would, like, you know, say someone in high school is watching right now, senior high school, you know, what advice would you tell them in choosing a major if they were on the fence about, say 2 or 3 things?
I think you just gotta, because I don't think you really need to know your major. Like, I think everybody's like, oh, you gotta know your major coming out of high school. I don't think you do. I really think you need to know your major by junior year, like the beginning of junior year
Exactly.
of college. So, if you don't know your major, it's totally fine to go undeclared. And I know a lot of undeclared people who are slowly but surely finding what they're good at. I know there was a person in my English class last semester, and she was undeclared, and she didn't know what she was going to go do.
Yeah.
After the English class, she switched over to become an English major.
Really?
So, yeah, and it's great. It's great. I think that just taking your time with what you want to do. Because, I don't really think high school is the place where you know what you want to do yet. Like,
exactly.
If I'm being like, I didn't know until senior year, right?
Yeah.
I think those first 2 years of college are really important to see what do you want to do, or where do you want to go, and take your time with it, enjoy the process, and by the time junior year hits, make sure you make the right choice.
Yeah, and man, shout out to all the seniors, class of 2020. This blows. I mean, spring sports, whatever. You got all
Hopefully
your stuff
y'all get
canceled.
to walk and graduate.
Yeah, man. I mean, we feel for you guys. We were 2019. I mean, we just got ours in time, but I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're in your position, I mean, that's just unfortunate. But best of wishes to all you guys. Yeah, shout out to you guys. But yeah, great advice on that. And we're gonna kind of switch gears now, kind of going away from school, the boring stuff.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know that Nate played basketball in high school. I think he got up to varsity. Yeah, he got up to varsity, and he played basketball. So I think a lot of people play sports, and they kind of they grow close to it. It's kind of almost like life at some point. I remember the first couple years, you transferred to Granada from like you lived like in some other neighboring town, but like you came over. I'm like, who the hell is this kid? And they're like, oh yeah, he's like hella good at basketball or something. I'm like, really? So I mean, you were a baller, man. I mean, I remember trying out freshman year. I saw this guy. I was like, oh shit, like he's kind of tall. He's kind of nice with it. But yeah, I think my question is, how did kind of the game of basketball kind of change your life? I know you've played basketball ever since you could probably walk, right? And
actually, I did. I picked it up late. So
late.
I was really I was a football player at first. So in Chicago, especially where I grew up, we had a powerhouse in Jacobs High School. It's a high school out in Algonquin, Illinois. There were a football power, so like a lot of kids wanted to be football players.
Oh.
So like, I fell into that. I wanted to be a football player.
Yeah.
I think by the time I hit 6th grade, I was really small. They would play me like in the slot.
Yeah.
They play me like a running back. I was just too small. Like sometimes for games, I think. Funny story. When I was in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So you had a weight limit, right? You had a weight.
Yeah.
I think there's like a certain limit. I think you can't go over 100 pounds for a certain bracket of where you're playing. I actually came to, and you had to be at least 60 pounds. I came in every game at like 58 pounds.
Really?
They had to put like weights on me, so that's when I knew. Okay, I gotta make a switch.
Hang it up.
I always loved like NBA would be on, like the highlights would be on the mornings, and like I'd always like watch it. Kobe Bryant was like my favorite player, and then once I think I hit like 4th or 5th grade, I started playing like rec league and all that, and ever since then, like I quit football for it. Like I was really invested, and then I hit this huge growth spurt when I was maybe in like when I was like 12 or 13. That's when like I knew like, okay, this is what I want to do in high school. I wanted to play in college. I got hurt a couple times, kind of derailed me from all that. But I think basketball basically, I don't think I am where I am today without basketball. It taught me so many things just about hard work, dedication, just drive of everything. I'm probably not even a journalist without basketball because I want to cover sports so much, and I want to cover basketball. And if I didn't love basketball, I wouldn't love what I'm doing now. Yeah. So, definitely. Like, I think I owe a lot of what I am today to basketball. All my coaches, all the teammates. And he, like, even at Granada now, I mean, Coach Q is an amazing coach.
Your next door neighbor, right? Like lives down the street,
my
right?
next door neighbor. Yeah. He took literally a team that was, I think we're 2 games above 500 last year.
Yeah.
This team this year made it all the way to the North Coast section
title.
Yeah. Made it was a
number
1 seed in the Division II state title.
Yeah.
And you know, I owe a lot to him, to Coach Brent Bate.
Yeah.
Pange, if you're from Granada, you know these guys.
Definitely.
And, you know, they definitely installed a toughness in me through basketball. And it's kind of made it to who I am today.
Yeah, and I think if you ask any player, you know, that plays any sports, you know, whether a football player, baseball player, freaking badminton player, swimmer, you know, I think the one thing they would, you know, say just like you is, you know, being part of a team, you know, being part of, you know, like a community and like having that coach that whether they pushed you or not, but just having that coach that you looked up to for instruction, and then you kind of, you know, you learn those lessons, you know, being down in the fourth quarter and not giving up, you know, or like, you know, just, you know, getting through those, you know, sprints and stuff during practice and stuff, you know, just trying to like, you know, learn to be tough as nails. But I think, you know, what sports, just, you know, sports, like it kind of has a lot of impact on people because, you know, they were able to build relationships, you know, meet new people, and of course, you know, learn, you know, a lot of stuff. Because I mean, parents, they do the best they can with us, and you know, I think sports sometimes, whether they you know, whether they made it or not, they kind of shape people, and you know, learn other lessons in life that, you know, parents can't necessarily teach you. You know, I mean, they might, but you know, you get what I'm saying, right?
I do think that like sports, in a way, I think I'm no sports psychologist or anything, but I think athletes are just built differently. Like, I think especially if you play once you play throughout your whole life, and you know, through high school, they're just, I mean, the way that I've seen, just not even athletes who keep playing in college, but just athletes in general, are just built differently. The way that they go through different situations is just different because they know, like, I've been through adversity. Like, I was 4th down and 9, and we had to get a first down. We lose the game.
Exactly.
And they're just a different like mode or different mindset that these cats have, and it's, I think it really does help just with like your mind, just being able to have a team to lean on. It helps with like just trusting people in life, just, you know. And I think that, you know, sports plays a big factor in not even just like athletes' lives, but in society in general. Like it plays a huge factor in what we do.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Oh, and like, shout out to 2020 Granada varsity basketball team. I was watching you guys via Max Preps. You guys went hella far. Shout out you guys. Great season. Couldn't get it done, but hey, it's all good. But furthest I've seen a Granada basketball team go in my time in high school.
That's probably the best basketball team Granada has ever produced.
Hell of a job. Yeah, definitely Coach Q changed the culture around there, and I think he's kind of set the foundation for the next, you know, 5 to 10 years if he's still around. But yeah, man. Definitely. Like, I enjoyed your thoughts on that. One final question. I know we're kind of approaching on, you know, 35 minutes. It's all good, but Nate, you're Filipino, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You're Filipino / Asian, whatever.
100% Filipino.
Okay, all right. But you know, you've taken trips to the Philippines, right? And I think your brother is your
two.
Yeah, and is your brother like playing over there, or is he like what's
he's trying to get recognized as a Filipino basketball player. He went to a camp, I believe back in February, where it's a whole organization. They recognize Filipino players all on the West Coast. They went to Hawaii, LA, they went to the Bay, and then they went to Seattle.
Really?
And they try to find the best Filipino ballers. I did a little bit of that when I was back in Chicago. Didn't have as much exposure, but it's just good to see, like, you know, there's not a lot of us anyway. There's like a lot more now. Jordan Clarkson's in the NBA. There's a guy who plays for the Oklahoma State Thunder's G League team. I think his name's Cedric Barfield. He's Filipino, it's good. It's just good to see,
Yeah,
guys that
definitely.
look like me.
Yeah.
And these, I mean, we never grew up with Filipino players.
Yeah.
Asian players in general are not, or athletes in general,
Exactly.
are never really in
Exactly.
sports. I mean, baseball has a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Basketball had Jeremy Lin and Yao Ming.
Yeah, that's about it. And a couple other guys I don't really know.
I mean, I don't know any. I mean, there's that kicker.
Young Wei Koo, Korean.
Yeah. He played. I mean, but if they, if we see an Asian quarterback in the league, like I will. Like,
I'm leaving the Redskins for him. Leaving the Redskins for him, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, you have been to the Philippines, and just kind of a little cultural, question that kind of some people are, may not know is that, what, how kind of is like the Philippines different from living, say here, I know you've only been there twice, and I don't think a lot of people have been to the Philippines or are going to the Philippines anytime soon. But can you kind of just break that down for us?
It's definitely a different environment. I went to both like the city, the big lights, the kind of the LA of the Philippines, which is Manila.
Yeah.
And I kind of went to my dad's neighborhood, which is in this small town in the province where it's kind of like connected by a river, and it's definitely different, man. The people there, they're hardworking people. Like I thought, people here work hard. I've seen, people go there, they work for, 35 cents an hour. It's just like just crazy stuff. I think that we're very similar with the U.S. because we are technically a U.S. colony. So like the kind of the culture is almost, I wouldn't say it's almost just like all exactly the same, but it is definitely like there's remnants of like they have freedom of speech, and it's kind of the government's kind of set up the same way. But in terms of like just culture, like basketball is huge over there. That's kind of like their only sport. Like they worship basketball players over there. And I was fortunate enough to go to a professional game where I don't know if anybody knows this is like for the NBA heads. Will Bynum was playing.
Really?
Yeah, he was a point guard there, and he looked like a third fiddle to like all these guys who were playing, like these young Filipino guys that were dunking and stuff. So it's definitely a different culture. I think that like especially like not as people are privilege is definitely a factor over there where not a lot of people can go to school.
Yeah,
not a lot of people could they can't be as what they want to be. They don't really have the American dream mindset that we have here, and it's definitely it's really different. I was actually talking to a coach who coaches out there, and the guy, he was saying like how hungry those guys are, and it's never really seen anything like it. And I think if anyone gets to go out there someday, just learn to like appreciate those people and
definitely
like, what they do to just make a living. I mean, it's definitely different. And,
right,
it just makes you realize how privileged we are.
And I think it's kind of when you are able to travel to say a different country that maybe a third world from what we're used to, it definitely puts into perspective what we have and what what we take for granted, whether it's the bed we sleep in or the clothes on our backs, or the money in our pockets, you know what I mean? Like definitely does kind of put into perspective like how sometimes we take a lot of stuff for granted. And I think that might be something that's something you learned when you went out there and stuff. And I think that's pretty awesome that you were able to pull that. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I think if anyone ever gets the chance to go out there, I would definitely recommend bringing some shorts and a t-shirt. It's hot as hell. That's the only thing I don't like. It's hot as hell. I mean, it was like 100 degrees with humidity. And it was raining. Sure. It's just the rain's hot. Everything's hot. I mean, I think that it definitely brings a certain type of appreciation to what we have here and how privileged we are to just be able to chase a dream and
definitely
be able to be free to do that.
Definitely. Well, Nate, we've made it to the top of the mountain, as they say in Hot Ones, but we've finished all the questions. Appreciate you coming on. His Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all that will be on the screen. But plug us up. What do you got going on in your life? let us know.
Let's see. So
Aside from
I
that
am
thing.
definitely a writer for the Las Pacific Express. If you guys can sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get all my articles that like come in. You guys can read them. I'll plug you, of course, my social media.
They're down
Twitter,
below.
it's pretty fire.
And right on the screen.
Tim knows that. We got pretty fire social
TikTok.
media over here. And then be on the lookout for the Quarter Six podcast. We are coming back. I promise you that we will be back.
You heard it here first, folks. But all right, Nate.
Oh yeah, we will be back.
Yeah,
we'll definitely be back. We'll be talking some more sports. We'll be talking, some more life. We're gonna get that planned out. We'll figure it out for sure.
All right, Nate. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a slice. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Comment down below who I should have on next. Down below, I'll probably put them on. I'll probably schedule these for weekends. But hope you guys.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think either I got 3 people.
Really?
Cameron Schrader has to be one of them.
Ooh,
another one has to be either. I would say if Malini could get on. I would say the last one you gotta get our boy Frank on there. I gotta see what he's doing. I'll
probably do Frank. I'll probably ask Frank. He's my boy. He's my boy. He hasn't been on the video, but yeah. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Be on the lookout for episode 2 next weekend, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.